All right, all right. Okay, so can I get some? Can you guys see me, or are you guys getting the your browser does not currently recognize the video format? Can you see me? So you can see me right now? All right, good. I just have to change the video resolution real quick, and then we're gonna get right into it real quick. All right, and it's good to see you guys too. I'm back, and it feels good. You know, fuck them. I don't care anymore. And all right, let me get this fixed first. So, just to the video resolution, which is not on tone. All right, you know what? Screw that. All right, but then I can't see chat. All right, you know what? Let's just do it, huh? Okay, so I wanted to talk a little. What the fuck is happening? You guys can see me, right? Everything else is gone. So weird. Why is everything gone? Oh, they're messing with me. You guys just won't stop, huh? Now I don't see YouTube. Where the fuck's YouTube? Unbelievable. Just keep fucking messing. Who knows? Maybe I'm live. But I can't see what nobody's saying now. Everything just went away. Sound coming back now. So weird. What is going on? Alright. I don't want to have all this dead air. It's just, I don't even know if I'm on. Once I know YouTube just disappeared. I don't know what. Just as I'm about to get into my thing. You know what? I'm just gonna check it out. YouTube. I'm sitting there like an idiot. Alright. Good. Alright. Is there a delay? Alright, you know what? If they're gonna mess around like this, good. I got my phone. I'm sitting there like an idiot. Yeah, I'm gonna turn on the volume. But I can see the chat now. Alright. So this leads me into the first thing I wanted to talk about. And basically, I don't have an agenda. I'm just here to hang out. If anybody wants to call in, anybody have anything they want to talk about, you guys steer the conversation. You know, for most of you guys, you know, I've been here before. You guys steer the conversation. You can go as long as you want, unless the audience starts to, you know, want to hear something else. All right, so I wanted to talk about electronic harassment because I've been getting a lot of emails. And by the way, if you guys want to email me, if it's sensitive information, send it to redpillnews@protonmail.com. If it is just a regular email, send it to um, redpillnews@yahoo.com. I have to double check that because it's right, but it might be the right. You know what it is? It is. Both of them are the Red Pill News. And then at Proton for sensitive, at Yahoo for other. So, first of all, let me just say hello. Moonchild, good to see you. You were the first one in. Awake and aware. All right, good to see you, and thanks for giving me the heads up that it was working. Jeremy Olson, thank you. Susan Welch, all right, this is basically everybody letting me know that that you guys can actually see me. Okay, so electronic harassment. I had heard about it. I did believe it because I know of the capabilities of some technology. It's just I didn't realize how widespread it was. It's basically it's like psychotronic torture. If anyone knows about that type of stuff, that's actually how they describe it. And it's like electrical. It's electrical magnetic, and it's a conspiracy theory. That's what it's considered. And that it's used by government agencies against those they want to silence, those that they want to make look crazy, because basically the best form of torture is depriving somebody of sleep. If you take somebody and you deprive them of sleep, and every time they start to fall asleep because it's been so long, you just keep throwing water in their face. Trust me, that person they will sign a confession to a murder. They used to do that back in the day here in America. All right, they used to do that when they really wanted, and the person wouldn't admit it because they didn't do it. But they would get. It's like, well, then why'd he confess? Well, you don't put yourself. You don't think. Actually, what it's like to be in a room for that long. So basically, it's when they use electromagnetic radiation, radar, and surveillance techniques to transmit sounds and thoughts into people's heads. Now, that didn't happen to me. I'm just reading this now. Wow. So that's exactly what happened to the mother of my child, though. Because now she's hearing voices in a hospital. That's so crazy. And I knew it was, wow. I didn't expect to read that. Okay. Holy shit. Alright, so affect people's bodies and harass people. That's basically like the thin of it right there. But and it does affect your body, because me, I've lost weight. People see me sometimes like, are you alright? Are you sick? It's just when you're not getting sleep, it's so important for your body. And when you're going through a lot, you're not eating right, it consumes you. It does. I spend so much time yelling. I was in a courtroom today screaming about this. I'm fighting. Well, not about electronic harassment, but about what happened to the mother of my child, and the fact that they even have any right to be knocking on my door and asking me questions. They have no reason to open a case. There's no neglect. But they said, well, because she hears voices, then you know, then she's must have neglected the child. Okay, so what's that have to do with me? I'm home with the kid taking care of her. Shouldn't I be left the fuck alone? No. That's how they do things. They're like, well, no, because now there's a case open, so it's really more about the child. And then they try to make you feel like an asshole for even questioning them. They're like, listen, we just want to make sure the child's okay. If her mother was going through that, imagine what that's like for her. She needs professionals. All this bullshit. It's all bullshit. And I said, listen, I'm not falling for all this. I said, I know you've already used 3 different tactics that I learned while I was in the military in certain schools. I was like, and I don't want to deal with you. If you're using those type of tactics on me and I'm calling you out on it, and then they really get pissed. All of a sudden, and they all stick together. The whole justice system, they all stick together. So you got to be careful, especially if you live in a state like I do in Massachusetts. Oh, there's people upstairs. You just got to be careful. You live in Massachusetts, California, I think Oregon, Vermont, New York. Well, not upstate, but New York. These places, certain places in Florida even, you got to be very, very careful with the system. You start exposing one of them, they're all coming for you because they all depend on it. They all depend on all these services. It's all bullshit. I mean, yes, there's definitely some people who are drug addicts or, they are too young and immature, or they're just sick and or they're predators. Those are the people we need to wean out. We need to find them. We need to make sure that, first of all, that pedophiles. I believe in castration. Just problem solved. But I don't know. I guess nowadays, like, the new thing is like to understand them, and that'll never be for me. Never. You mess with a kid, that's it. And I was like that before I had a kid, and now that I do, it's like 100,000 times more. And I have a little girl, of course, and she's only 2, and then they're messing with me. They're causing more just like stress to her than anything that her mother had ever done, and her mother really never did anything. It was just kind of scary those last couple days when she was convinced I was saying things, and I'm telling you, it all happened when I started my YouTube channel. We got in an accident right away, and it was like I seen the lady coming, and she's just flying down the hill, and then runs away. I couldn't even tell if it was like a male or female. It could have been a guy with like long hair, but flies down the hill in this place called Worcester, Massachusetts, second biggest city in New England. We were there because there's a doctor, we took for a doctor's appointment for the baby. And so flies down this hill and nails us while we're sitting in traffic. Doesn't even hit the brakes. I mean, who does that? I mean, it might have been a stolen car, yeah. It's a bad neighborhood, Worcester. But, I mean, I don't know, you hit the brakes, right? It just made no sense. My baby was usually on that side, but she had just gotten to the size where you start, you change the way you put the car seat in. And we bought a new one and we put it on the driver's side, which I hated. I was bitching about it. I'm like, why are we putting it behind my seat? I like to sit back a little. I'm 6'1". I like to sit back a little bit. And she's only like 5'6", 5'5". I'm like, do I have to sit like this? So it's just crazy how in 1 month, now I'm basically like alone, you know? No one believes me. People think, listen, they're just doing their job. No, I know their tactics. Why would they be using those tactics? And after once they investigate, that's it. The person said there's no neglect, but they continue to check at the house. I just don't get it. And then when they first came, they were deep. They had 9 squad cars. I wasn't here, but I pulled up and I watched them. And then they had 9 squad cars. One of them was like it had something in it because it was like it wasn't SWAT or anything like that, but it was like it wasn't a paddy wagon either. It was something in between. It was some kind of command vehicle or something like that. And so, of course, they can triangulate my signal. So I shut the phone off. And by the way, even if you shut the phone off, they can still track it. But I didn't know if this town's PD had that capability. So I'm just watching them. And they're all talking, and then they're going up, and you can tell that they went upstairs, and they probably came in, saw that the dog was friendly, and, that the thing is, the dog is friendly unless I say a certain word. Then she will rip someone's throat out. So that's the way I like it. Someone could break into my house and rob me blind. But anyways, if anyone wants to call in, by the way, I always put the phone number in the description. But I'll repeat it for those of you who are new. 774-303-5555. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. We can go into anything that you guys want to go into. I'm going to check out the chat. Oh yeah, awake and aware. Yeah, I was getting all your everybody's messages. I was getting messages. People didn't even say who it was, but I know that Jerry messaged me. I know Khaleesi messaged me. Um, um, I know that you did now. It meant a lot. It's just I did not like you guys. You know how I feel about you guys. Like at the beginning, that first night, that was great. We had all that fun, all those people calling it. That was a great night. But anyway, I didn't want to get you guys involved. I text you, you text me. All of a sudden, they look at. I don't want anybody ever, even if they're not gonna mess with you, even if they're just gonna like kind of look into you. I don't want that. I didn't want anybody to be messed with. After seeing what happened to the mother of my child, and there was one other thing that happened that actually is what made me come back. And I can't say that, unfortunately. But something was said to me. Let's just say that. That's why I came back. This shit, this stuff is real. There really is a certain faction out there in the government that is out to do the dirty work, and a lot of it's good. That's the thing. A lot of it is good. We do need that type of stuff sometimes because there are some bad people out there. People are constantly trying to think of new ways to outthink our intelligence services. But, all of a sudden, government doesn't pay that well. You start working for a private contractor. And usually those are the ones you got that are really scary because they have a lot of experience. They're working for money. So that tells you a little bit about their character. And that's when it gets scary. I think they were trying to scam me, but then again, that could only be true if the accident was a coincidence. But why wouldn't they hit their brakes? I still don't get that. I don't know. I think about this stuff all the time. But I'm done being, after what was said to me, I know, I feel bad because it's like leaving you guys hanging, but trust me, it's nothing you want to hear. And it wasn't right. And I after that, I said, fuck that. Yeah, I'm in a position now where I got fucking nothing to lose anymore. They're fucking stupid. You back someone in the fucking corner, all right, who knows certain things, and I don't give a fuck. I will never give classified intel out. Never. But I will look at the news, look at whatever is leaked. If things are leaked and it's out there, it's out there. Too bad. You should have did a better job protecting it. And if I can give a unique perspective on it, hey, I will. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Doesn't mean I'm going to leak anything classified that I was involved with or that goes on. Or I will never do that. I admit that. I say that all the time. But when there's news out there, when things leak, when there's whistleblowers, when information comes out, I have a unique perspective that, I kind of put a spin on it. And, you'd be surprised. All right, let me see what we got. Oh, wow. Okay, so good day from Queensland, Australia, Shelton. How you doing, Jan? Sean, you're good to go, all right? Glad to see you back. Thank you, Jan. Moonchild sounds good. This must have been at the beginning when. Oh, did I delete a message by accident, or was that a mod? If it was, I trust my mods. CJ Blaze, how you doing? How you doing? I don't know about the thoughts and sounds though. With him at least, maybe wrong. Well, the thoughts and sounds, I couldn't believe that when I read that, and I've heard of that, but the whole thing is it happened with her overnight. And if somebody is going to be schizophrenic, it comes out around anywhere from like 16 to 21. It doesn't come out at 29. It just doesn't happen. You don't all of a sudden become schizophrenic. It comes out during those years, 99% of the time. So the doctors, it makes no sense to them. I don't know. I lost the chat. Okay. Yeah, and James Wonder, I just saw something about that. Whoever said something about James Wonder, yeah. I do watch James Wonder, and I think he's going through the same exact thing because he's in California. And that's the thing. Like, if you have a government that is going to allow this shit, because they have, I mean, there is no way a Republican can win anything in Massachusetts. Actually, except for governor. For some reason, Massachusetts likes to, like, elect, very, like, middle leading. Like, the Republicans, but to other Republicans, they're like in the middle. But they always elect Republican. That's my voice. I've been screaming just for days and days and days. I'm sorry. Um, Hi from San Francisco, Susan Donahue. Thank you. Might have been on drugs and panicked and dipped. I just don't. I just don't know why he wouldn't break. And the thing is, when they ran, straight line. It wasn't like like and fast. Which is why I saw the long hair and I'm like, oh, that's. And then the way they ran though, I was just like, either she's like a super athlete or that's a male or something. I don't know, but ran so fast that just freaked me out. Still doesn't make it okay. I agree. That's crazy. I believe I have had weird things happen. Yeah, if anyone doesn't believe me, that's okay. Because you know what? This lie is all over the internet. So question everything. But you'll always get the truth from me. These things all happened. And, I'm trying to figure out myself. Like, I know where I was targeted. I know I was targeted while I was sleeping. Every night, I'm targeted. And, I stay up all night because of it. It's hell. And I know that they're doing it. Because I know that it's a capability. And I know that it's used on people who have clearances, people who they're just trying to mess with, people they're trying to get to flip. I know that that's used. I know that I don't care what anyone says. I know I've been electronically harassed. Other things and then also, you know what? Because schizophrenia isn't setting at 29. That's weird to me. And then I didn't even know I was going to read that. I was just reading what comes up, and I'm reading it, and it says techniques, and I've heard of this before, but to transmit sounds and then thoughts into people's head, so that the sounds, so voices, you know. I mean, how many times? A lot of people out there really are crazy, and they are schizophrenic, and that's sad. But there's a percentage that there was actually an ex-cryptologist. I think he was the guy. He's a black guy. I don't know if it was Fort Hood or a different one, but he was a cryptologist, had a top secret clearance, and ended up shooting up somewhere. If you guys, I could Google it right now and just tell you guys. That way you guys know. Because, like I said, I don't just say things, just say it. Ex-Navy cryptologist shooting. Huh. They say former spook tells tales of time as naval cryptologist. That's what in the Navy they call it spooks. Because, huh. Wait a second. I gotta narrow down this. I don't want to send the whole friggin' thing. Because I definitely know that this happened. And he was saying that they were messing with him. But I think it was, I don't know if it was active duty or, because I put ex-Navy. Let me take out the X part. There's a lot of crazy shit in there. All right, I'm gonna have to find it on my own time and get it to you guys. But something about he was a black guy, I know that, and he had shot up the place, and he must have lived because they asked him, or maybe he ended up dying in the hospital. I don't know, but they asked him. He said that they were messing with him. Maybe he wasn't a cryptologist. Maybe he just had top secret clearance. But I don't want to get stuck on one topic. So, by the way, anyone new, if you want to call in, anything, like I said, you guys steer the conversation. If not, I'm going to, just go on my rants. And, if something comes up that's interesting, I'm going to talk about it. Like, for instance, QAnon. Holy shit, huh? It's actually getting interesting with that now. Because things that he has been predicting this whole time are all coming true. That fucking blows my mind. It really does. It's just like sometimes I'll just check it. Because deep down, I just don't believe it. But sometimes I just check it. And I see how many people are involved. And I see the posts and how like well thought out they are. And how they're linked to all these different things. And I mean, to keep that up for this long, it's amazing. But something I did want to talk about that I actually wanted to mention on my show is, I was talking about, the way that, when you're going to war, the way that you position yourself. And, one of the first things Trump did was actually acknowledge Taiwan. And at the time, some people did understand the gravity of it. Others didn't. But that was huge because China has forced basically all of the world, most of the world, not to recognize Taiwan, even though they are their own country. But China consider them theirs, just like Russia with Crimea and Ukraine, same idea. So now Taiwan is coming out and they said some things. You guys saw it on Marfoogle. Now you got Venezuela, obviously. Now they're not just landing planes there; they're training pilots there. I mean, that's all they got. Before they had Cuba, that was a lot closer. But nowadays, that distance is made up by technology like that. So it's really not far at all. And when things and there has been we've been in a cyber war, an electronic war for a while now. All the blackouts and the weird times, the Super Bowl, things like that. The Navy ships. I mentioned this on Marfoogle. Navy ships just crashing into cargo ship. Like that happens. Like there's a guy up on the mast just whipping. No, that's not how it goes. There's no way. So China is definitely. I mean that they have to feel pretty confident to be crashing our ships and planes and killing. That's acts of war. I mean, it could be North Korea too. North Korea actually has a great. I hate to say the word "great" with them, but they do have a very sufficient, extremely sufficient cyber team, and they're extremely good at what they do. Because you got to think over there, like us as Americans, we grow up, we go to high school, we go to prom, whatever your story is, you join the military, you take an aptitude test, they tell you what type of things you might be good at, you pick something, they might pick it, however it works, you have a job, you have training, we have very good training, and we have great equipment. Now, over there, you're born, and this is what you're going to do. And you're taught from when you can understand a thought. So, I mean, that's hard to compete with. We have freedom. When places don't have freedom, they have the ability to create these people that, based on genetics, they know that they would be good at a certain thing. And it'll blow your mind if you really start to think about it. If you take a baby and you train it just at one thing, and that's it, and that baby is already genetically predisposed to excel amongst all at that thing. Like, they would mate the best male with the best female at whatever it is. Let's say it's cyber war. Let's say it's hacking. All right, you mate them. That kid, as soon as he can form a thought, he is working at it, and it's not 8 hours a day. It's 24/7. All right. So where you have extreme, and it's sad, it is. Where you have oppression and horrible things like that, and these camps, you also have, they have opportunities to do these things that are disgusting, but to them, their families probably, his if he even has a family, I don't know how that would work, but they would be proud to die for their leader. They're all totally. It looks like they're faking, but they're not. Now, when you see them at the Olympics, that's faking. They have these like actors, and we've all seen that. It's hilarious. They're horrible actors. I find that hilarious. But what they do with some of these other people, it's sad. And they have over time developed quite the cyber hacking group. But I think it's China, who isn't much better. Let's be honest. We got our first call. All right, so hello, this is the Red Pill at the Red Pill Dispensary. Who am I speaking to? Devin, how you doing?
Pretty good. I talked to you this morning. How you been?
Yes, I know. I as soon as I saw the number, I knew it was you when I saw when I saw the state. I knew it was you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like you had a rough day today, brother.
Not so much. I was talking about some of the stuff that's happened over the past month.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I just, in court, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a daily thing, daily battle with them. I go in there, I file motions, and I just, you know, and sometimes when I get someone to listen to me, they hear it, you know?
Oh boy, I know. Trust me.
Yep. But so to tell everybody, so I was speaking with a lot of you guys today. I would really that I really appreciated how many people reached out to me, and not only like some of you guys could relate to what I was going through, other people just wanted to, say, that they were happy I was coming back, and other people had higher aspirations, and I just appreciate every phone call, every person. Um, I really, from the bottom of my heart, I really do. This is a small channel, I just do it to. We all like the Marfoogle show. I love it, and just before he comes on, you know, sometimes it gets late, so you have somewhere where people can call in. But I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna let you talk. All right, brother.
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, is there anything?
We're pretty much talking about how the Democratic Party just seems like they want Trump to win almost. It seems that way,
Yeah, yeah, we were talking about that. It's like you were talking about how, and it does seem like that. It's like
This Green Deal and, I mean, AOC, I mean, nobody is that stupid. Nobody. I'm sorry. Like, I've met some dumb people in my life, but no one goes full retard, you know what I mean?
Yep. That's a good one. You never go full retard.
What was that from? Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder. That's it. But yeah, it's like what blows my mind is the abortion bill in Virginia. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
First of all right, if anyone really believes that they happened to find blackface photos of him on that day by coincidence, and they had something on the lieutenant governor that exact day by coincidence, and the third in charge that exact day by coincidence. I mean, they literally had the balls to tell the American public that, and 99% of the American public ate it up and just believed it and talked about blackface for 3 days. It's just that was one of those ones where I thought people were gonna realize that it's all a stage, and it's like no, it's just basically the people who already know it's all like a lot of it's bullshit. They're the ones who were talking about it. And you see the numbers go up a little bit, but there was no great awakening. I mean, let's really think this out. Okay, so Virginia decides they're going to have this bill, which is disgusting, that they're not only going to have abortions at 40 weeks, 39 weeks, all that, but the mother has the option to give birth, and like they will resuscitate the child to keep it alive. Then they will keep it comfortable. Okay, I don't know what that means. All right, and then all of a sudden, the mother has a certain amount of time to figure out if she wants the baby, and then they said if they have, but they're like, and there might be a birth defect, and then somebody like obviously somebody who is a Republican, they actually asked them the question. They said, "Isn't it true that you consider?" And it was something like so stupid that so many people live with. Like it could be anything. Like a birth like the weirdest thing like they could consider a birth defect. So when you hear birth defect, you think like, oh, the poor thing. No, it could be like the simplest thing that we all live with, and, like a birthmark. You know what I mean?
Person, you know.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, don't quote me on that. But it might be something like something that we all live with or know somebody that lives with it. So they use these terms very loosely, and so they're able to all of a sudden kill that child.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
After resuscitating it, a born baby. And when I tell people this, they don't believe it. And I tell them, look it up, Virginia. That's what they tried to do. And all of a sudden, when it got exposed, guess what? The powers that be, the elites, the people who really run shit, and everyone says it's the Rothschilds. I got news for you. There's someone above them, and it's the Pesos. And you're not gonna hear that around too much. The Rothschilds, you hear them so much, you know it's not. You know that they're not the premier family. They're not the ones. There's no way. It's the Pesos. And actually, QAnon led to a couple guys finding that out, and they were able to prove it with extensive evidence. I mean, they looked back through newspapers from the 1800s. They bought up everything, and the Rothschilds were, banked for that. They were under them, so there is a family more powerful than them. But to get back to this, so yeah, so
you know what gets me about that whole situation is if a man was to push a woman down the steps and she loses her baby,
it's murder, double murder. Oh yeah. Well, she didn't die, but yeah, it's murder.
And then the same people that are doing this shit, they're trying to stop people from getting executed in prison. I mean, make up your mind. You want people to live or die, you know?
Yeah.
It's okay if they're in the penal system. We got to take care of them for the rest of their fucking lives. But, oh my God, God forbid that, they have to die for their crimes, you know? It just doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't. And I just the hypocrisy of it though. The way, okay, so this comes out, right? Literally the next day, CNN, Virginia governor with blackface. That's what they do to these. That's what they do to all these crooked senators. They have a few different things on them, and sometimes they'll even force it, and that's what they have, and they're like, all right, you ever fuck up, we're just gonna take this out, and you're done. That's it. And at the time, racial politics and the blackface, and that's a sensitive subject, and people aren't going to stand for it these days. And, he was gone. And it was also plausible deniability almost. We have another call. Who's calling right now? I'm going to be taking your call. Okay? But for right now, I'm in the middle of this call. So they get rid of him with the blackface story. Meanwhile, nobody knows that he just tried to pass this bill. They did a good job of hiding it. A lot of people know, but not enough. Not enough people know that he legit almost passed this bill. It was very, very close. Because Virginia is getting pretty blue. Yeah. Calling again. Are you still on the phone?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was you calling. Whoever's calling, I'm gonna answer you. Just let me finish this phone call, and then I'll call you even. All right. So so all of a sudden, the day after he fails at this bill and embarrasses them because it got out. People got it. People it went around the internet. It's just the way the media, their power, they suppress things, and it just didn't hit enough ears. A lot of people, when you tell it to them, they're so surprised that they're like, no way, that would never happen. Who would ever support that? And it's like, the Democratic Party, that's who. And once this, and he even went on a radio station trying to defend it, and he made it sound so much worse. Oh my God, he made it sound like I'm getting a lot of phone calls. This is a. You know what? I'm gonna try to do. If he calls again, I'm gonna answer it and do 3-way and see what's so important. Okay, so because it must be important. All right, so then all of a sudden he's gone because of his blackface, right?
Yeah.
Which was a bullshit story. That's just something that they have on them. They have it on all of them. Anyone who's crooked has some story that they have to, they have to play ball, and they have to, sign the bills that they have to, and that's why all these corporations get away with murder, and nobody goes to jail because all the politicians all have either dirt or fake dirt or whatever that would end their career. All right, I'm answering it this time. I'm gonna make it 3-way.
Hey, dude, fuck you, dude. Talk shit about CNN again, bro. I'll beat your ass.
Yeah, you're real funny. So real, you called that many times to say that?
Fuck you.
You called that many times to say that?
Fuck you.
That wasn't even funny. Yo, if you're gonna prank call, at least be funny. I'm not mad at all. Like I actually feel bad for you, bro. Listen, if you're gonna prank call and like just keep calling, like at least be funny.
Yeah,
you talk about CNN, fuck you, bitch. With your dumb ass, man.
Fuck black people.
What'd you say?
I said fuck black people.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck you too, bitch.
Listen, the funny thing is, you're a coward who's in at this time of night listening to me, and you're calling to talk shit because you know why? I know guys like you. You can't do it in real life. This is your only chance to do it. I live in Boston, and I'm well known, bro. Trust me. You ain't doing shit. You ain't doing shit. Suck a bag of dicks, you fucking motherfucker. I will fuck you up all day, and you know it. All right? You fucking calling up, talk shit about CNN like you're funny. You think anyone's laughing? You're a fucking clown. You're clown shoe. You fucking clown shoe. Black boy, I'm white, you dumb fuck. Listen to you. You're a fucking idiot, kid. Listen to me. Suck my dick, bitch. All right? Seriously. Literally, if you met me, you would be my bitch. I'll make you my bitch right now. You want to call my show and talk shit? Guess what? All right, motherfucker. Let's see how you're so fucking tough and all that shit. Oh, you're so tough. You're so tough, right? Then why are you calling me on the phone? Why are you calling the phone when like you have all these states and fucking wires to protect you? Like that just shows that you're a pussy, bro. Like do you understand that that's like anybody who does that, it means that you have some kind of seriously, I know I took psychology for many years, and you have something where, you either have a small dick or your mother didn't love you. There's something wrong with you where you know, you like, first you went for funny, and you realize you ain't funny, all right? And then you started going for a tough guy, because you're not a tough guy. So listen, you're talking all the game, you're being racist, talking all this shit. You just want to talk shit. Yeah, keep talking. Like, it doesn't matter what you say on a phone for fucking states away. It makes you sound like a pussy. It makes you sound like a pussy, bro. Seriously.
I know, you're a fucking pussy. You keep talking.
Why do you just keep saying what I say? Do you have a brain of your own?
Whatever you're saying, it can go.
Now that's making someone your bitch. Hey, by the way, what I just did, hey, that's how you make someone your bitch. Bitch. Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey. Yeah, so, how to handle that?
Yeah, how about that, China?
Well, normally I just hang up on that shit, but he was like so adamant about, he had to keep going, you know? And that was his big funny joke. And it is true. Guys who fucking, and I know you're watching, you little skinny punk. You know anyone who does that and acts tough and I'm gonna do this and then says racist shit with it too. You know for a fact that in person they could never do it. Like a huge dude, like that's like that can bench 300 pounds, doesn't sit there and call like people that are on like YouTube. I'm gonna fuck you up. You know what I mean? Like you think they do that? No, they're chill. They're the most chill guys because you know they don't have to prove that. They don't have to prove anything. This guy's just like trying to prove something to himself. And I you know, hey, I don't know, hit the gym, find a girl, maybe lose some of that racist shit. You'll be all right, kid. All right? And if not, you can always come home to daddy. Okay? All right? I'm looking straight at you. All right? Fucking punk. Like, I am that guy. This motherfucker. Anyways, so... All right, from that punk to this. So then all of a sudden, so the blackface comes out the next day. I mean, it's so obvious what's going on. The elites are like, oh, you fucked up, bang, cut his head off. But guess what? They don't like everyone after him either. So every single one of them have dirt come out on in the same week. The lieutenant governor, all of a sudden, sex scandal. It's just disgusting, and that was one of the times when everybody should have woke up, and so many didn't, and it's sad. It's really sad.
Same with Lavoy Finnegan. Remember him? I mean, rest in peace. But
maybe I'm not answering restricted. I'm not answering restricted. You loser. Get a life, kid. You keep calling me. Listen, you know, you can call me after, and, you know, I'll read you a story, all right? Fucking punk. No, but I'm not sure if I'm familiar. I probably am once you start saying the story, but let's hear it.
It was a few years ago, but a few years ago there was like a standoff. It was all over, I don't know, some 3%ers took... like they took control over one of the wildlife management units or some shit.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, Lavoy Finnegan was on his way to go talk to the sheriff, and he got stopped on the way there, and he was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go," and he went for it, and they blocked the road up the road. He jumped out of his truck with his hands up in there, and he got shot to the ground, like.
Oh yeah, they were off in his ass. They didn't want him to, you know.
And no one. I mean, like I thought that would be like a breaking point, you know. Like I thought people would just be irate, but they weren't. I don't know.
Did the media suppress it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, that's why. That's why the media is so powerful.
There's still videos on YouTube about it though. if you look them up.
Oh yeah,
like,
but that's the thing. There's videos on everything, but the thing is, like it's funny. It's like people say, like on YouTube, like you find your own truth. Like sometimes you can get in trouble. Like when you're searching for truth, sometimes you are searching certain things and you almost make it a reality because you're searching it, because like you're searching it, so that's what's coming up, and you're seeing all these videos, and you're like, "See, I knew it." It's like, but no one else is seeing that video, and sometimes you actually do come across some stuff, and you can tell it's real. You can tell, when there's enough videos and there's proof. You need some type of proof or like an overwhelming number of people, kind of experiencing the same thing. You know what I mean?
You know who? Oh shit! I just forgot what I was gonna say. Anyhow,
I actually might be having a special guest on in like a week. I don't want to say who it is yet, but I might just say it anyway. I don't know if you know Anthony Patch. Oh my God,
I know what I was gonna say now.
he's amazing. Go ahead.
About that Adam Green dude, he's on point. I'm pretty sure he's on to something.
Adam Green?
Yep.
Was he the one killed? He was making the movie?
No, he's got that channel called No More News.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about, you ever hear about the guy?
He's smart. He's on point.
He what?
He's smart and he's on point. Like, he's really, I think he's on to something,
Wow. Huh. That's fun. Yeah. I don't know much about him, so I can't really.
You should check it out for sure.
So Adam Green?
Yeah.
I'll check it out. And you should check out this, someone in chat helped me out if they know the guy, he was making a movie, and basically it was like exposing FEMA and all this stuff, and it was gonna like actually have some dollars behind it. And it was actually basically almost all made. And all of a sudden, now this guy, he's a veteran, and he learned so much in the military. He's like, no, the American people need to know what's really going on. And he married a Muslim woman, and he's just like, listen, people need to know what's going on. And then all of a sudden, they find him, his kids, his wife, all dead, and in his, I forget if it was his kid's blood, I think, he wrote on the wall. This is the story they're given, of course. He wrote a story on the wall, that in Arabic, saying something about she had to die or something crazy. It just none of it added up. Everybody who knew him, it made no sense because he was totally normal the day before. They had all these plans for the next day. His whole dream was to do this movie and expose all the shady deep state shit that goes on and that they make the military do. And he gets murdered along with his whole family. It's like they sent a message with that one and wrote messages in his family's blood.
Yeah.
He legit was coming out with a crazy documentary / movie. Just with that information alone, you should be able to find it if you guys want to look that up and check it out. Am I still live here?
Yeah. I think so.
Wait a second.
Pretty sure.
Am I still? Oh. Okay. I guess yeah. Is What a True Story Awake and Aware? The one I just said? Yeah. Yeah, oh, here we go. Gray State. It's called Gray State, but not with an A. Not like grade with an A. It's Gray, Grey. So Gray State. He covered the war games. Got him got. See, people know about it. See, everyone's saying it now. Yeah, so it was Gray State. If you guys want to look it up, the guy, he made this movie, Gray State, and you would think they basically filmed the whole thing. They could have released it, but the higher ups wouldn't let them release the movie.
Yeah.
How funny.
Yeah, no
and
doubt.
He gets killed. They fucking kill his kids and his wife, and they make it look like he did it. You know, so that's his legacy now. Like, I mean, although I think, you know, a lot of people that were close to him know, you know, what happened to him. And that must be tough to know that, you know?
Didn't that one fella jump off a bridge? That one guy, I think it was in New York. He was one of the alphabet agencies, and he couldn't handle what, like, he left a little note, you know, or a letter that said he couldn't stand the thought of what was happening. And
yeah, I heard something about, yeah, that's recent. That was recent, right?
They said, he wasn't mentally stable and this and that. Well,
yeah,
sure.
That was recent, right? Very recent. Yeah, I heard that.
And onto them, they're going to be like, oh, well,
yeah,
they wasn't really mentally there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Just like the Patriot Act was to protect us.
If I end up dead, I'm going to tell you this right now, I'm a happy man. You know, like, there's no way.
Yeah,
you know?
I know, right?
So,
I've said that to people before, too. But, you know, sometimes, though, you know, if YouTube could be a good thing, because, you know, if you at least get enough subs, you know, it looks too shady. But then again, I don't know. They off the Gray State guy. They off fucking all these other people. I mean, and they'll do it in such gruesome fashion that it's like a slap in the face. You know, they could have done it easier. You know what I mean?
What our forefathers did, right? They met at the pub, man. You know, in person. I think that's what, like, makes
They what?
life.
They what?
They met at their pub, their local pub. You know, they talked, and that's where our Constitution was written, I think. I'm not positive of that, but I'm pretty sure it was written in a pub.
I mean, most of them are Freemasons as well.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know, I mean, there was American Freemason and European Freemason. The European Freemason was a lot more like kind of like what we would consider evil. Yeah. Whereas the American, it was, you know, they really did believe in freedom. They were very smart men. People just assume just because something happened a long time ago that they were like dumb. No, it's only a couple hundred years. The same as us. It's just like the most intelligent person we have today. That guy was there too. You know what I mean? It just takes time for society to innovate. You know, like someone has to make a breakthrough here for someone else to make a breakthrough there, and eventually, you know, you end up with what we have today. I mean, in another 100 years, I mean, who knows? I don't know if, because everything turns into a weapon, right?
Anime. I think that's what it says. Yeah, I left a message at Marfoogle that said something about meeting at a pub. Just so she knows, or he, whoever anime is.
Anime, yeah. I'm just.
I've been trying to spread the word because I think people, like, they need to drop the Googlers. You know, put your phones the fuck away, and seriously, like, start talking to people you know, and like really getting it, you know, and don't let this shit go flying around on the internet so much, because we're going to have to form our own secret society, you know what I mean? Honestly. I mean, you come from intelligence, you know what I mean?
Well, so sometimes the best thing to do with that type of shit is to bring it to light, and you expose it, and we could bring ourselves to light. We like Marfoogle does. He does it right out in the open. We all are in there. We all chat. You know, we're very strong together. That's the thing. When they see channels like that where it's like, okay, there's people with a lot more subs, but there isn't that many people that are so loyal every single night they are on there. You know what I mean? Like, that's what makes it unique. You know, and people calling in, and there's a lot of military involved.
In the same sense, everything that you put on there, like, I like a lot of times people are like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that, or I got this, you know, and you're telling them everything, because everything that we talk about, every message we make,
Yeah,
somewhere. And
of course.
For 1 second, that the people on this channel, like me or you or anybody that is talking any smack on the government, is gonna be on a list, you know.
Maybe a list, but I mean, I think it takes a lot for them to really like take you out. You know, I worry a little bit more only because I had the clearance, so it's like, all right, like you had the clearance, you know the deal, like you don't talk about that, like you know what I mean? And I don't,
Yeah.
I don't talk about the classified stuff, I don't. But you know, you're on a platform, so what if you slip? Like you know, you're talking very loose, so what if you slip? I don't know. Maybe that's how they're thinking. I don't know. I get worried in that way, but I don't think they're just like kind of like off anyone like that. But at the same time, if they decide that you know this internet is just fucking up their plans too much, because I think it is. I think it is. If nothing else, QAnon taught a bunch of baby boomers how to use the internet and search and do their own research, and it's like this awakening is happening, and people you know they don't believe the news. They're gonna see it themselves, and they have certain places they know that are reputable, and they look it up, and you know what? Guess what? Everything that you've learned is bullshit, and you know you start looking into more stuff, and it's just unbelievable, this movement that's happened. I worry that it could be a bad thing sometimes. I mean, I think it's a good thing, but sometimes you think of it could go bad, you know. You know, sometimes like ignorance is bliss. I've always said that because I've always been cursed with a analytical mind that overthinks everything, and it's not fun. It sucks because you torture yourself. And I used to have this girlfriend that was just like head in the clouds, but she was the happiest person on earth. Ignorance is bliss, and as society, I think as ignorant as we were in the 80s, 90s, and all the crap that was really going on. I mean, the crack, all that coke was coming right in from fucking Nicaragua. No, I don't know. Nicaragua, all that, and they were bringing it right into Arkansas. And then he became president. They legit just slew through the crack. They showed them how to make the crack. That was it. They flooded the streets, the inner cities with coke. Then all of a sudden showed them how to make the crack, and that was it. It was like unbelievable. Then create a war on drugs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know how much money that created?
Was that Reagan? That was Reagan that did that, wasn't it?
No. I think that was Bush. That was Bush.
Yeah, it was Bush.
Yeah, I mean, like something like that. That's a Bush move. Bush Now, don't forget, people think Bush, he kind of comes off as goofy. Oh, no. That motherfucker, he has tens of thousands of bodies, I'm sure, under his belt. He was the head of the CIA. And then he claimed he didn't know where he was when JFK got killed.
Nope.
And then there's a photo of him right there in Dallas on the street where he got shot. It's like unbelievable. And then he becomes president one day. And then his son becomes president. And then another one of his sons almost become president. And he had no business even trying. But it wasn't for Trump, who knows? He was ahead at one time, I think.
I know. Like, I'm from Pennsylvania, Like, I lived in Pennsylvania all my life, and I just moved up to New York.
Oh, was Reagan, Olga? I thought it was, I remember the Just Say No and all that, but the actual war on drugs is what I'm talking about, where it was like they could stop anyone, like your rights went away, and of course, it just happened to be black people in the inner city.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to say something to my bitch in Georgia that called. Sorry, Are you mad? Because you're so racist. Punk. Oh my God, I can't get over that. People calling and act like he just sounded like this man sound like the biggest pussy. And then he just kept on saying what I would say. It's like, dude, you are pathetic, bro. Call anytime you want, please. You're pathetic. So, let's see. I'm just looking at some of the, Yes, this is a fabulous caller. Anime.
It's a what?
A fabulous caller, they said.
A fabulous caller. Oh,
yes,
boy.
You are a fabulous caller, yeah.
Yeah.
I think more people want to hear about Adam Green. Or is he just is he a creator? Is that the deal?
What's that?
Adam Green, is he a creator?
He's got a YouTube channel, I know that.
Okay.
And he studies really deep into the religion and what they believe.
Oh, that's actually something I wanted to talk about. Is there someone out there who wants to talk about? Oh, do you since you're like him, I'm assuming you're deep into the prophecy and all that.
Yeah,
Prophecies
and it's pretty much coming full circle is what it amounts to.
Yeah, and I know you're not big on Trump, but I mentioned this to you on the phone when you called me today. But it's pretty amazing when you really think of it, how biblical prophecy is being fulfilled before our eyes each and every day.
What scares me is this. I actually seen the video, and it was actually one of Adam Green's videos, okay? And in one of his videos, he goes through this stuff, and it was an actual, on the news, it was broadcasted long before he was ever president, but the Jewish people, they gave him the Tree of Life Award or something.
Yeah,
Just the way that he says, it means the world to me. It means everything to me is what he said. Something like that. And it's just wait a second, And then, around the same time, all this stuff happening where they're, screwing around over there in Israel and shit. And,
yeah, I mean, the Mossad, they're shady for sure, but...
It's hard to trust these days, I really don't know. I wish I did. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. I'm trying to get to skinny, but I don't know.
Yeah, we all are. And just the way I look at it, what I find amazing is this, it also, it names all the lands and who will be on what side. So, some of them still have the same name today. Other ones have a different name, Iraq, Mesopotamia, Iran be purged and things like that. But actually, no. I think it was even something different. Was it Yeah, no, it was Persia. And basically, and anyone feel free to correct me, but from what I know, like there in the end days, there is going to be Israel, and this is one of the things that was in the Bible that people were like, well, this will never come true, so it has to be some kind of metaphor. But no, it actually said no, Israel, and they'll be backed by Saudi Arabia and Jordan and Iraq and things like that. I think it was Iraq. I'm not sure about Iraq, but I think Iraq, because I know that right now it's all lined up. It's all everything. What the way the politics is right now is the way the Bible says it would be. So imagine all these Muslim countries, and because of their interest with the U.S. or whatever, and they're called by their old lands, but these lands are these countries now. So, and then because the interest with the U.S., they would be on their side in a way, and then the other side, and then there's Iran. I think they call it Persia, and then Iran was and then of course a lot of people know about the Gog and Magog, and that's the land of Russia, the land to the north. That's what Magog means. And they said that they would actually come down and they would take Damascus. And they did that years ago. And they're still right there, right outside of Israel. I mean, it's amazing when you look right outside of Israel, how much military activity, how many countries have troops there. It's just like unbelievable. So you have all that going on.
And you can talk to my left nut that right now in France, they would trade their fucking yellow vest for a gun any day.
You know what? I got another caller. I'm gonna take another caller. Thank you so much. It was great talking to you. All right. I'm just gonna get someone else in there. All right.
Yeah,
thanks, brother.
Y'all take it easy.
You too, man.
Later.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
This is the Red Pill Dispensary, and I think I know who this is.
Hello, this is Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I've been better, but I'm happy right now. So we were talking biblical prophecy. Do you have anything to add?
I just wanted to say I was glad that you're back.
Thank you.
We all missed you.
I know, and I really appreciate the text messages. I would get them, but I didn't want to get anyone involved, with anything. It just, if they think I'm talking to somebody, or, I just didn't want anyone involved until I got to the bottom of it. But I never got to the bottom of it, and all it took was somebody to say something, and I said, fuck it. So.
Well, the whole thing that your ex-wife is going through, my brother's going through the same thing.
Wow.
So, it's scary.
That's crazy. And that's what it says right here, electronic harassment. Electromagnetic torture or psychotronic torture, that government agents make use of electromagnetic radiation, radar, and surveillance techniques to transmit sounds and thoughts into people's heads, affect people's bodies, and basically harass people.
Yeah, he's starting. He was doing real good. He was on drugs for a long time, but he was doing real good. He was off of them and everything.
Yeah, and that's what they go after too.
Crazy.
If they're like just like testing people, they go after drug addicts. I've noticed that because I have a lot of friends that were drug addicts and stuff, and it's like once they get clean, it's like they can just never get a break. It's always something, and I do believe that they do like test on drug addicts, you know, because once someone's a drug addict, like just the way society is, such a stigma to everybody. That somebody, whoa, they want to take something to, not be so fucking depressed all the time. Like I mean, I get it. I mean, I keep my drugs to marijuana and that's it. But
That's what he does now, and he's still acting like this. So I'm wondering if he got a hold of something late, or if they're messing with him too.
Yeah, well, but he used to maybe do more. Cause that's what I noticed. Like people who used to do more, it's like, even when they get clean, it's like one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. It's like they're being harassed in some way.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Maybe it's nothing. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just it's just the reason why it's so plausible to me is because it's an easy target. It makes sense. Like when something makes sense like that, okay, so this person, society views them like this. Well, no matter what happens to that person, they're gonna be like, "Oh, the drugs. See the drugs, what they're doing to our youth." And it could be anything, but no one's gonna question it. As soon as they had drugs, people start questioning the death.
Well, he found out how good of a boss he had because the other day he walked out in the middle of his shift, and his boss offered him help the next day to get him help mentally. So
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, most people who do drugs do need you. It's getting clean. That's the easy part, but the hard part is whatever got you there. You know what I mean? Like 99% of the time, I would say there's a mental health aspect to it.
yeah.
And I know some stuff about mental health. Trust me, I got my own demons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as biblical prophecy, everything's starting to come to pass.
And that's what I really do believe that. I really do. It's just all these countries that are supposed to be against each other. I wish I had chat up because I know people are correcting me and I want to say the right thing. If anyone, when I was talking about the countries that were lining up against each other, if anyone wants to like re-comment, please do. I got chat open now. Because they right as soon as I went live, they have to mess with me every time. I swear to God, I know that they messed with this computer because I had it up, everything was ready, and then it disappeared, and now I can't get back to it. Like I can't like see my own chat.
Yeah.
But anyway, so as far as the biblical prophecy, like I think it is past. It is coming, and that it is being fulfilled. I mean, a lot of people believe that Trump, he's like the new King Cyrus, and of course, King Cyrus led all the Jews into their temple. Actually, no, he helped them build their temple and brought them all back into Jerusalem. All right, so after they had gone through all that hell with Babylon, he was the conquering king that came in and built the temple, let them build their temple, and it made no sense because he was Persian, so he was like an Iranian, like someone from Iran now, so it made no sense. Why would he do that? and so they just believed he was ordained by God, and people think that Trump's ordained by God, and it's funny because when you think it's one really weird thing that really like caught my eye was I was thinking this as soon as the Mueller report came out. I said, all right, now Trump's hands are untied, right? What's the first thing he's gonna do? Because that tells you a lot about it. Or like whatever the first or last thing a president does, once, at the beginning or end of the presidency, or in a situation like this where his hands have been tied, because he can't do nothing, he couldn't do anything, because they would just they would be like, oh no, you can't do that, because of Mueller, all that, and what did he do? He declared the Golan Heights Israel as part of Israel. That was his first like official move as a president. So that's got to tell you something. Either the last caller's right, and we've kind of been fooled, or no, Trump is like a modern day King Cyrus or something. Because the only way.
The thing that's sad is a lot of the older people, they say, well, it's not the end of the world because all this stuff has happened in the past, but they haven't stopped and thought about it. It's not happened in the past like it has now.
No, this is, we are in unprecedented territory now. And we have been for some time. And then like the whole Revelation 12 thing, I didn't think the world was going to end that day. Everyone thought I thought that was stupid that they thought that. No, Revelation 13. What is it? I was like wicked into it. I love that thing. You heard about that, right?
Yeah.
It all lined up perfect along with the verse in Revelations. I believe it's Revelation 12. Actually, yeah, it's Revelation 12. So if they line up perfect, she gives birth to Jupiter. It's just like perfect. And if it's God, it has to be perfect. It can't be like a little bit off. You know what I mean? It was perfect. And everyone thought the world was going to end. I thought it was the beginning of something, And the story is, then the dragon tries to eat that baby and, all that. So, I don't know. We'll see. And I just want to say this to everyone out there, if you're not into, religion, that's fine. In fact, I find like extremely organized religion to be BS. That's just my own opinion. Like I was raised Catholic, and in Boston, they did so much bad stuff. I mean, you guys seen the movies in Boston what they did, and so it's just I'm not that church. And they don't let us read the Bible ourselves. Like they have to read it for us. And in the Bible it says, "Call no man your father," but God, and you have to call them Father. You have to tell them your sins. But is a man really ordained to forgive your sins? I know he's doing it through God and all that, but I don't know. There's a lot of things I have a problem with. And then the whole thing with the popes, all the popes have been saying some weird stuff, especially this one right now. I mean, I wouldn't.
People need to come out of religion. That's what the Bible means when it says, "Come out of her, my children."
That's what I feel like. I feel like religion is like this beast system. Not the beast system, but it's this system that, I mean, you like it says in the Bible, you judge, a tree by the fruit it bears. You judge a man or somebody's works by the fruit that it bears. If his works create great things and help people, then it's a good thing. If the works in the end create suffering and things like that, it's a bad thing. And I just didn't find much. I just have my own personal relationship with God. I read the Bible. So I just call myself a born again Christian. And the way it's read, the way I read it, it's almost like you have to be born again. You need to find your way. And every time one of us find our way, 10,000 angels do backflips for us. But here on earth, this is Satan's playground. This is his domain. He's given so much power. Yeah.
Satan is God of the world, and that's why we need to come out.
Exactly. And I used to think at one point I thought he was crazy, and then I realized he wasn't, and that he's actually pretty smart. I don't know, Jonathan Clark. I don't know what it is about him. I thought he was out of his mind. And then, I don't know, maybe he just grew on me as a person. But I realized, like he's pretty smart. At the very least, he's very smart to put together the presentation he does and to find so many anomalies with this whole scorpion thing. And I actually, I had it lying around. I had Dante's Inferno, believe it or not. And that's a tough read. But I read it. And it kept on talking about the scorpions. When Dante is going through all the levels of hell. So that kind of was like weird. And if you know anything about Jonathan Clark, he talks about the scorpions. Because that's what it says, the pit will open and out will come the locusts and the scorpions. And they'll sting us and we will not find death. So, but before all that happens, Jesus, I do believe in a pre-trib, but who knows? But there's going to be a great deception before that.
Well, there's great
and that's what we have to be ready for.
Religion.
Maybe it is.
I think it is because of the simple fact, religions are man-made.
Yeah. I agree with you about the whole religion thing. Like
church is within our heart.
But like as far as like what's the great deception, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's something with all technology. I don't know. I just think it's gonna be something different. Something so crazy. It's supposed to fool most people, basically everyone.
Well, okay, this is the way I thought about it was I've never been in the Catholic Church, never wanted to set foot in a Catholic church.
Yeah.
But most of these Christian churches, I'm sorry to say it, but they all stem from the Catholic Church.
Yeah. The Catholic Church was very powerful back in the day.
Yeah.
Very, very powerful. Like where I'm from, every corner, and when I say church, we're talking like old school, these things are amazing. It's like cathedrals on every corner. So, it's just, because, the Italians have their neighborhood, they got a bunch of them. The Portuguese got a bunch of, all these are Roman Catholic. The Irish, they're kind of half and half, but most of them in Boston are Catholic, not of the Protestant.
Said to be right with the Most High, but don't put your faith in
man. Right? Was that what you're saying? In man?
Huh?
In man or
man,
religion?
in church, these churches within your heart.
I agree. I agree, and I really do agree. I always say that, and I catch myself saying I'm very religious, and then I stop myself, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I said I'm very spiritual. I said I believe there's a God, and it's the Christian God, and that's my view, and it's just, especially with we're just living in crazy times. I mean, people they were obsessed with the end of days, like during the Renaissance period, during the Dark Ages. They thought it was the end of. I mean, I would too. Like 2/3 of the population died of a sickness, and they didn't know what was going on. I mean, it's just, but it's just a lot. It's deep and it's a lot, but it's very, very interesting. I find it fascinating.
I'm sorry if I sound sicker than a dog, but I am sick.
Are you? Well, I'm happy you called.
I'm gonna let somebody else call in. So, love you, family.
I'm just so happy to hear you, and I'm back.
Yay!
I'm back. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
let somebody else call in.
Alrighty.
Bye.
All right. That was nice. I'm happy Jerry called. So, how much longer will I be on? I'm just waiting for Marf or Marfoogle reports to come on. Trinity. Is that what you were asking? How much longer I'll be on? Because I'm on to yes, and please feel better soon, Jerry. You didn't sound too bad. But I know you're sick if you say you're sick. Yeah, I hope you feel better. Why Trinity? Because I don't want to step. Is Adam trying to come on? Because I'm not trying to. I'm just waiting for Adam to come on. Yeah, call in Trinity 774-3. Yeah, that number should work. It's been working all night. But if the reason that you're asking what time is because Marf or Shauna want to come on, are going to go on, like like I said, I just do this just to fill in the time until their shows. I don't want to miss Marf's show. I saw that, Jerry. Wow, you gonna call in, Trinity? The number didn't work. It works. Yeah, I'll put it in. Just to make sure that the right one's out there. It's pretty easy. Oh, Oh, yeah, it's not 777. It's 774, CJ. But I put it in there. But yeah, you guys might be tired of the Bible prophecy talk. I just found it amazing just because it's recent news. I was curious, what's his first move after Mueller? And it's more with Israel. It's like, and the reason the Christians, and I used to not get this. I'm like, why do all these Southern Christian men care so much about the Jews? Well, it's because, basically, the Christian religion, a lot of it is based on a lot of Jewish traditions because Jesus was a Jew. And certain things have to happen in order for Jesus to come back. And so that's why. And they want Jesus to come back. Oh, you don't want to call in anymore? Don't be scared. I'm wicked nice. I just, I like having like a co-person. I end up just talking anyway. I moved my camera. See, the thing, I can't see myself. Let me put it on. Oh, shit. My bad. Okay. Nobody wants to talk to me. No, I'm just kidding. All right, then. So, I'm gonna, let me see what I can find here. We've gone over a lot today. But I want to hear more about you guys. I want to hear more stories. I want to hear more experiences people have had. You know, like West Virginia was there, Jerry was there, Kelly was there. Remember the first night we did it, and it was just like people were calling in. It was just like these amazing stories. We're all laughing, even crying. Hippie was that he called in. Like it was crazy. We were all just telling all these crazy stories. That was fun because we had no. The chair broke, and I tried to play it off. Like that was fun that first night. Now this is fun for me right now, but I assume it's not too fun for other people just because a lot of dead time. But it's just so good to be back on with you guys. I missed it. Yeah, yeah. When the chair broke, yeah. Trying to play it off. Yeah, I remember you called in the first night. No, you didn't talk too long. You're literally like one of the most intelligent people. Like I couldn't believe it. Like it was like I was like, holy! I couldn't believe it. You was so intelligent and knew so much. It was just it blew my mind. That's why I just find people fascinating. Like, you see someone walk by, especially in the city, like where I live. You see so many people walk by, but everyone has their own experiences. Everyone has their own things that they're very good at, and people are fascinating. And one of the most fascinating is West Virginia, Prepared Mind. When she called in, she blew everyone's mind with everything that all her knowledge on just everything. She knew everything about everything. I couldn't believe it. How are you, Kelly? because you weren't even here. I was singing your praises. I don't think you were here, but I was singing your praises earlier. Yeah, actually, I'm on a couch next to my dog. I don't know if you guys can see her. Can you guys see her? Because it's a huge, that delay. Well, you know a lot, West Virginia. So that's my dog, Philly. She's a pit, but they get bad reps. She is, like, her and my 2-year-old are best friends. It's amazing. Yeah, she's beautiful too. She's a brindle. She's beautiful. Oh yeah, there's no one else up around here right now. What time is it? 12:17. Yeah, there's no one else up. Actually, it's not even that. Oh, 1:17. My clock, I gotta change the clock. So it's 1:17. But, oh, you do? What kind, Olga? Yeah, I love pits. They get such a bad rep. It's just like they are such good dogs. They're the best with kids. And they have of all the dogs, they are the second best ever. Second best, behind another one of my favorite dogs, the golden retriever. So I mean that tells you something, you know. I mean my 2-year-old, she rips at her face and all this stuff, and she just turns into a game, and she knows not even to like touch her with a paw, just because she's scared she might scratch her. You know, I mean, she's just a great dog. And the thing is, like, if I wasn't home and when you guys came in and robbed me, she would hang out with you, lick you, chill with you. But then if I came home and I said a certain word, and this is how I trained her, and I was taught to train her like this, because you don't want them always just aggressive. You know, you're not home, like, you know, like a family member stops by and a horrible accident, something happens. No, you just say one word and then she'll do it. Kelly, she's a red nose. What about yours? In fact, I never even got that confirmed, though. I'm assuming. I mean, because really, she's like a brown nose. I mean, like, it's just like she's just straight brown. It's weird because she's when like people say they rescue dogs, which is, you know, if you get a dog, you probably should rescue it. But I legit rescued this dog. She was in the ghetto, and she was just barking and barking and barking. And it was my first apartment. It was in the worst neighborhood. I had just gotten out of the Navy, and she's barking, 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 and I could hear her all night. And finally, I'm like, "Is that a dog? It sounds like she's right outside. She can't, you know." And then I look outside, and there's a dog tied to a tree. It's raining. I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "No, fuck that." And I went out there and I gave her some water. You know, I kind of dried her a little bit. And when I approached her, there was no, and you know, at the time I was a little like skittish of pit bulls because I had been bit by Rottweilers twice. And so I approached her, and I could just tell by her eyes, her ears, She was totally friendly and just looking for help. So I kind of like tried her a little bit, and then I went in, and I knew everyone's like Spanish in that area. So I went. There's one guy. He's known by everybody. He's like the drug dealer of the area, so he knows everything. And I asked him, I'm like, "What's up with the dog tied up all night in the rain? It's freezing tonight." And he said, "Oh, the owner went to jail, and he didn't know what to do with her." He's like, "Why, you want her? She's only 9 months." And I'm like, yeah. I said, for a couple days, until like, so we can find her a home or something. And a couple of days turned into years and years. And so, yeah, literally rescued her off a tree. Yeah, you. Now she's looking at me. Alright, I'm not going to make this show about my dog. But, yeah, it's funny, like, people say rescue dog, but no, I literally rescued her. Literally. She was out in the friggin' starving, too. She was so hungry. Piece of shit. You're going to jail. Like, that's your big plan for your dog. Tie it to a tree. Alrighty. I think I know. Hello, this is the Red Pill. Welcome to the Red Pill Dispensary. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
Good morning, everybody. It's West Virginia Prepared Mind.
Oh, yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
So much better now. I haven't talked to you in so long.
Well, I was worried about you, and until I went to dial the number, I didn't realize I had saved your number in my phone, and it popped up, and I thought, geez, I could have texted him and asked how he was doing.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
I can be a dingbat sometimes.
I didn't answer anybody. I didn't want anybody, just in case my suspicions were true. I didn't want anybody to be involved at all. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, it's crazy. I mentioned in chat, and I've never said anything before because I thought people will think I'm crazy. But honest to Pete, depending upon, I can sit and watch canning or baking or cooking YouTube videos all freaking day and night long. But the minute I've got a truther channel on, depending upon what the topic is, my freaking Wi-Fi will go out, and my phone doesn't work at my house without the Wi-Fi. And
it's odd, ain't it?
It went out twice on you tonight.
It happens.
It goes out multiple times depending on the topics when Mark's talking. But anyway, I don't know.
It's odd. It happens. It's. I'm telling you. Same here. I do crazy. For a living. I cover sports. And
I do it on my phone. I always watch on my phone. And when I go to settings and watch, for the Wi-Fi to kick back on, it always shows that my iPad has Wi-Fi. Well, if I switch over to my iPad, the Wi-Fi goes off on my iPad.
So
but as long as I'm just on my phone, it only goes off on my phone. So
I had a similar experience.
I know that sounds like a big conspiracy, and
no. I think literally everybody can relate to that because it happens.
CJ said it happened to her sometimes. But anyway, the reason I wanted to call, first of all, I want to say I am no big biblical scholar. Okay. And I pray every
Neither
day
am I. So no one take anything too serious, I said.
I can have a potty mouth and a half. And listen, you cracked me up. I turned my headphones off and woke my son up. I said, you've got to listen to this. This is great. I was laughing until I about died when you were after that troll.
But yeah. Oh, man.
God,
I mean...
Awesome.
He had to be put in his place.
Everybody tries to be so politically correct, and I'm not big on political correctness. And you just zinged him. I just thought that was great. But anyway, somebody mentioned the 3 days of darkness.
Yes, and, I'm curious about that myself.
Well, we're being inundated now on YouTube with all of these people
that are getting these prophetic messages, and God's telling them to, get a pen and paper and write, and they're reading you supposedly these prophetic messages that they're getting from God. But if you listen to the lingo that you use, I'm not quite sure those are God's words. And the Bible says to watch out for false prophets. And any of us can read the Bible and get the message out of the Bible and say that God gave us that message, and we can elaborate on it. But
so that's why they say
I'm glad they're kind
that
of
it needs
they're
to
bringing
be
out points, because hopefully that will cause people to delve into their Bible. Anything that you question now, luckily, while we have power, internet, you can Google it and it will tell you what verses in the Bible to go find anything. But my favorite book in the Bible, if we could just live by the book of Matthew, we would be doing really, really good. Most of our answers are in the book of Matthew.
Yes.
But, of course, you have to reference back to the Old Testament and then to the other, books to really get the full story. But the 3 days of darkness is prophecy. That's real. And it's basically going to be our end time version of Sodom and Gomorrah. And there's going to be a darkness that is so dark that you can't see your hand in front of your face. And it's going to be when Satan and his demons are out, and anyone that's Christian, that reads the Bible, that has studied and is aware of the 3 days of darkness, the Bible says that, if you heard the saying, red in the morning, sailors be warm, red at night, sailors delight.
Yes.
Because if it's red sky in the morning, it's going to be bad weather. Well,
yeah. I was in the Navy, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I can't remember, and I didn't bring my Bible in here with me. I'm thinking maybe Matthew 7. It's either 7 or 11, somewhere in Matthew. I'd have to look it up and tell y'all later. But it said, and basically it says, that you, paraphrasing big time, okay, that basically to watch for the red sky in the morning and know that, the weather is going to turn. Why are you not watching, the skies, for the other signs? And that mentions the 3 days in that verse. It mentions the 3 days of darkness, and it says that, but you that know and listen, you will have light in your dwellings. So if you're a Christian and you're prepared and and you understand, for those 3 days and those 3 nights, we cannot go out. The air is going to be so thick with Satan and his demons that you cannot breathe the air. People will die during that time. And the Bible says that during that time that you should be crying, fasting, and praying. Now, I don't think, I don't know. My interpretation is I don't think that we're expected to go those 3 full days fasting, food and water.
I mean, you could easily fast.
You can
3
fast
days,
anything,
but water would be tough. But you could probably do it. Yeah, you could do it.
Yeah, it can be done, but the big thing is to you can't even look out your windows. You're not supposed to let anybody in. You're not supposed to go out. You're supposed to have your windows covered, your door shut. It's basically kind of going to be like when the death went through, and everybody that had a cross on their homes, the death passed their homes.
Oh no! When they put the blood of the lamb.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't look out. You can't go out.
It would take the firstborn, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
We have no astrological signs that we're supposed to have a full solar eclipse on the horizon anytime soon. Even when we do,
what about the American one?
Totally dark. But the 3 days of darkness and the 3 nights of darkness, the Bible says, and this is why I have to believe in the moon. In the book of Matthew, it says that the sun will lose its light, this moon will no longer shine its light, and the stars will fall from the heavens. So if the moon wasn't real,
why do people not believe? Do people not believe in the moon?
No.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, because supposedly an asteroid or something hit the moon and it rang like a bell, and the dark side of the moon is supposed to actually be entrances where they.
Oh yeah, I've heard stuff about the dark side of the moon.
I don't think personally anybody landed on the moon, but
I mean, those are some of the most popular conspiracy theories, and I think the least likely, just personally. I mean, you know.
I don't believe we landed on the moon. I think that was in Arizona somewhere, but.
You know what I think, honestly?
I believe in the moon.
You know what would really suck is if they did land on the moon, but just because of the way that it must be up there, the pressure, the atmosphere, that they couldn't film. So because we're in this Cold War with Russia, they created this film to recreate when we made it to the moon. Imagine.
Well,
and then it gets proved fake, and it's like, now it's like, you know what I mean? Imagine being like one of these guys who actually went there. I don't know. I think crazy, but.
Like I said, I'm no biblical scholar. I do read. I do.
Well, no, you sound well read to me.
I think it's very good because oftentimes people find it hard to understand what they're reading in the Bible. I think some of the newer translations where it's put in modern words for us to understand, I still think you need to have, a Bible there and read those actual words. I watch Perry Stone a lot because he knows a lot of the Greek and Hebrew, and he'll give the translations of the words in the Bible.
What's his name?
And I used to have a book, and my ex-husband took it, that would give translations, but the verse where it talks about where there'll be earthquakes and kingdoms against kingdoms and nations against nations, the translation for the kingdoms for the end time prophecy is race. So it's supposed to be race against race and nation against nation. And we're having race wars right now.
And it says with perplexity.
Yes.
But
I think it's okay.
And I think the perplexity
for these women that are given, these messages just to bring up topics that some people maybe aren't aware of. If like you said, you were raised in the Catholic Church, you weren't told to read the Bible. You were just told to believe what you were told.
Exactly. And we went every Sunday to CCD school.
Right.
And if we got in trouble, they hit us with rulers in the hand.
Right. To study to show thyself approved. So, through the years as I have read the Bible, I could have read the same verse 10 times, and it just seems like at different times in my life for different reasons, I'll grasp
you get something
an additional
different, right?
Understanding
me
from
too.
that verse. So I think God shows us things in time, in His time.
Yes.
But, if you're not...
I totally agree. I think we're all on a journey spiritually. Right. And, I feel like I've made leaps and bounds in my journey over the past couple of years, especially the past year in particular. And it's really, I just, when I read, I read it all. Like I said, I read Dante's Inferno. I never thought I'd read, and it was just amazing to me. And then I read, I forget the name of it. It was amazing too. And then But when I read the Bible and certain verses, they speak totally different to me than they did before.
Yes.
And it like, I don't know. I know exactly what you mean. It's just unbelievable, because also you do get more knowledge, and it's such like a perfect book. You know what I'm saying? Like the way like it all kind of like, if it all did kind of the end days happened, it would be that a perfect, you know,
Yes.
like it would make sense, like the people who do now. Do you believe that like there's certain people who, you know, are already supposed to go to heaven or something like that? I've heard of this
Our
thing now.
names in the Lamb's Book of Life.
Yes.
God knows
He
what
already
choice
knows.
we will make. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
And every hair on our head is numbered.
So if that's true, then really, like, there's only so many people on Earth who are even supposed to really get it.
Yes.
Because
right now, like you mentioned before, this is Satan's earth. This is Satan's time.
Yes. And people, a lot of people don't know
choices.
that like, well, at least depending on where you live, I guess, but like a lot of people don't know that. Like Boston.
Right now, Satan rules the earth. And,
yes.
And you know, my prayers every day. I pray for, I plead the blood of Jesus over a hedge around me and everybody that shares my DNA, and to protect us from Satan and any of his demons and evil that he can bring upon us. Because, you know, even though we're Christians, if you're around somebody that's not, you know, you can be in a really good mood and notice just all of a sudden you're just real angry and agitated and irritated. You don't know what happened. You know, there was nothing that you can put your finger on, but all of a sudden you just, you know, you're just pissed off at the world. And if you'll think back, you know, who did you engage that day?
Wow. That's me.
A
like
demon
lately.
that attached itself, and you just pray, and the feeling goes away, and ask, you know, God to take Satan and his demons away from you. I used to transport clients. For 10 years, I transported clients, and there were certain clients that the minute they got out of my car, I immediately said a prayer, because I didn't want them having anything evil lingering. You know,
you could tell, you could feel it.
Exited my car, right? My grandson, that's 2.5, his mother's Guatemalan, and her sister is, and of course the mother is too. There's a church that's not Catholic. You know, Catholicism is huge in South America, but there's also a church that claims to be Christian, believes in God, but also practices voodoo. And
I've heard
there's a big sect of it in California, in the Midwest, in Dallas, Texas. They have a big conference every year, and
I've heard of them.
They pray hexes on
and don't
people.
They sacrifice animals?
That I'm not aware of. I know that part of one of the things that they did, two things that they do to put hexes on people, is they'll put a dead bird at your front door, or they put graveyard dirt at your front door. And before I knew about this religion, and before I knew about the crazy Guatemalan baby mama being part of this religion, I was sweeping my front porch constantly, asking my family, who is tracking in this dirt? My front porch at my doorway was constantly covered in dirt.
Wow.
And then she speaks Spanish, and she's on YouTube.
There's a lot of it in Mexico as well.
Yes. And she was doing videos in Spanish, and I found a friend that I had met online buying LuLaRoe clothes. and asked her, because she texted her messages on the live buying those clothes were a lot like my grandson's mother. So I messaged her and asked her if she spoke Spanish. So she was so kind to translate those messages for me so I could see. And oh my gosh, it was all about me and my son.
A couple people actually, I'm not to cut you off, but just so you were trying to think of the name of it. A couple of people said Santeria.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Sorry to interrupt your thought. I just wanted to let you know.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. But she translated a lot of the stuff, and she's the one that gave me. She said, that her grandmother was of that religion and didn't like her mother and had put a hex on her when she was 8 years old, and she was nearly dead by the time they realized that the grandmother had put a hex on her and she was dying, and they went through a lot of spiritual ceremonies and prayed and everything, and of course she's alive and well today. But that stuff's going to happen because, back to the point that we were making, Satan is in charge.
Yes.
The demons are everywhere, and my on the weekends, my son just went to court yesterday, and he's got a 20-day full custody emergency removal order from the mom, and will probably in 20 days get full custody.
Exactly. Yeah.
My grandson on Saturdays, the mom doesn't work on the weekends, and he would be fine, on Friday night, and he would be fine on Saturday, and there were like 3 Saturday afternoons in a row that it was just like he lost his mind. He was just screaming and yelling and hitting and throwing things, and it was time for his nap, and 3 Saturdays in a row. The one Saturday, my son, Libo Hound, that calls in on Marf, wasn't home, and I was saying my prayer, and I was telling, commanding Satan and his demons out of the house, away from the baby, out of the baby, and as I prayed, and I just whispered as I prayed, his screaming, got less and less and less, and by the time I said the first line of the Lord's Prayer, he had totally stopped crying, and by the time I finished the prayer, he was asleep. So the next 2 Saturdays had happened, so I put him in his bed, and I laid down on my bed, and I did the same thing, and when I did it the first Saturday, my son was home. He said, he's already asleep, and I said, yeah. I said, I didn't tell you what happened last weekend. Let me tell you what I just did. And then it happened the next weekend. So then I started adding my prayer, and God, keep that hedge of protection around him. Don't let them be able, to do anything to him. But, it's real. I've seen it. I've seen healing. I've seen miracles.
Yeah. I've seen miracles myself.
The demon side.
Yes.
But going back to the thing.
It happened on Saturday each time.
Yes. On Saturday each time. That she's home all day on Saturday with nothing to do.
Well, it just struck me that, isn't that supposed to be the actual Sabbath?
So, on Sunday, when she's at church, believe it or not, and she's busy having afternoon late lunch with her friends, and then she's tired, she's getting ready for work on Monday, and she's busy and sidetracked, nothing ever happens. But when she's home on Saturday doing nothing, that seems to be when he gets a little, twisted up. And
so the way it works with them is like they summon something, and it manifests at that moment. Okay.
And then my friend said, have you, you need to give him a bath when you get him. You never know what she may put on him that could rub off on you. She's trying to, put a hex on you. And I said, oh my God, I couldn't figure out. Every Friday evening that we got him, he always had oil only in his bangs, never all over his head, just in his bangs. And she said, just take him straight in the house, put him in the bath, wash him off, say your prayers. And we stopped having trouble. But it's been a process. But back to the original reason I called, because we never know when Marshall's
No, this has been amazing. So I love. This is why I love it when you call. This is just like I just want to hear more and
58.
more.
I've been around the world a little bit.
Yeah, but it's like, maybe it's just because I've been on this spiritual journey, and there's so much I realize I don't know. And it's just, I don't know, when I hear certain things, it's just,
I don't think we
I
can ever
connect
know it
dots
all.
in my head, and it makes sense. Certain things start to make sense to me, and it's like, wow, like, and that religion, I'm pretty sure that they do sacrifice animals, and that tells you right there they're not Christian,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
I mean that's what Christians did before, that they would do sacrifices, but that was the whole, that with Jesus, he made it so that in order to please God, you didn't have to sacrifice. You didn't have to. You just had to.
right.
That's when that ended. Is when Jesus, basically sacrificed himself
Well,
for us.
my son had to have surgery in December, and we were waiting for him to get out of recovery. He had a reaction to the pain medicine they'd given him and to the anesthesia, and was out of his head. And she called, and I answered because I thought, well, she's having a good day. Maybe she's calling to see how he's doing. And she called to tell me that he had lied in court, that her sister had prayed for him. He actually has an intestinal disorder that is typically in children, but he got it from his security forces training. Eating too many MREs is what he believes.
Oh, yeah.
But
I actually heard of that.
Disorder that
that's
kills adults if they get it. They typically starve to death. But
Oh,
his
really?
is under control now. But
I don't know if that's the same thing I'm thinking of, but I heard of something with the MREs messing with people and their digestive tract, but it might be.
Oh my gosh,
it might be
he
different.
was so skinny he looked like a crackhead. I mean, it looked like when he looked down, his eyeballs were going to fall out of his head. But she, when they went to court and they had to take drug screens, she said he was a drug addict, and at the time he was, this was a couple years ago, he was on pain medication because it hurt him to eat. And so she told all these lies, and he voluntarily went through 6 months of drug screens, to show that he wasn't a drug addict. And but anyway, she called while he was having, and she said that when they went to court and the judge wanted to know, well, why are you on pain medication? And he explained why. And then, and of course he had a prescription, and it was dismissed, that there was no issue with that. And she called me to tell me that she called her sister to tell her that Derek was sick, and that would she pray for him. And the sister hadn't called her back. God had given her a message that he was going through what he was going through because he had lied in court that she had prayed for him and he had been healed of his illness. And he lied and said that he hadn't been healed and he had turned his back to God, and that the what did she call it?
And she said that's what God told her? Wow.
Yeah, God told her sister this. She's in that church too. That the angel of death was following him around, and if he didn't fall on his knees and ask forgiveness for lying in court and getting 50% custody of the baby, that God was going to kill him very, very soon. And luckily, I have that conversation recorded.
Wow.
Since they're going to court in 20 days,
sounds like
that'll
motive.
show a lot about her.
Sounds like motive. You know what I mean? Like, when someone has like a clear motive, oh, they want 50% of the custody. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's just a dingbat, but she preaches. She out of a Peruvian radio station on YouTube. She preaches every Monday night, and it's just craziness. I mean, everything that's been translated for me, just absolutely makes no sense. So I feel really, really sorry, about for she'll say make comments, and I'll say, well, Sonia, the Bible says blah, 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 blah. And she'll say, well, where is that in the Bible? And I'm thinking, if you're on the radio and you're going to, I definitely do not pretend, I've read the Bible over and over to pretend to know everything and understand everything. But if I were going to be preaching, I think I would know a little bit about the Bible, and she'll, well, where's that at? I've never read that. And
Yeah.
I'll look it up and tell her, where to read it. But going back to the original point, I've gotten way off track here, and I'm sorry, listeners.
No.
If you hear any of these people, I recommend you listen to them with a grain of salt, because I don't know if they're reading the prophecy and understand enough about the prophecy. Listen to how they give that message, and God says, go get a pen and piece of paper and write this down, and then, this one woman will say, he says that you need to be prepping with food and water, have your beans, have your rice, have your water. God's not going to tell anybody that. I mean, maybe he will, but, there's just, the Bible says to watch out
seems
for
a little
false
bit
prophets.
But yes, exactly.
But
it
they
does.
are bringing up, they have enlightened a lot of people that were unaware of the 3 days of darkness and 3 nights of darkness. So that's a good thing. Listen to them. They may bring up a topic that you haven't read or that hasn't been talked about in church, because it just seems like, I'm not a real big church attender, because the churches in my area, the preachers don't preach the Bible. And if they do, try to preach, it's like, how can you butcher, the last time I went, the Book of Ruth is a wonderful book. How could you butcher the Book of Ruth? And the preacher did. I mean, he just misinterpreted, most of everything he was trying to speak on. And I thought, I can't sit in church. I feel like I'm sinning by sitting in church, sitting there thinking, that's not what the Bible says. You're not, you're misleading these people. So I typically don't go, because I don't want to sit there and feel like I'm in, and people don't understand. The church is not that brick and mortar building. The church is the people. In that building.
Exactly.
Jesus met with the disciples and his followers by the river in the desert.
I know. And that's what they did there. That's what they would meet, and he would tell them things and teach them, and it wasn't, and they didn't build these grand structures and have all this money like the Vatican.
Exactly.
I mean, it's
and gyms and I see a purpose, especially in our city.
The papal throne.
To go. It has a good purpose, but that's not the only purpose,
Well, they do good things, but I mean, to me, I feel like they have to. I mean, they have to have these certain charities and help kids, and it just comes off as, oh, well, they're doing good things, they must be good people. And I bet you a lot, and the thing is, a lot of the people are good people. I just feel like you shouldn't have to put money in a collection basket, and you shouldn't have to,
well, the Bible says pay 10% of your earnings as tithes.
I thought that was a Jewish thing.
No. We're supposed to pay tithes.
See, that shows. Thank you. I didn't know that. See, here I am. See?
And typically what I do,
I thought that was a Jewish
with my
thing.
clients, instead of giving it to the church, because like with the
So
church
where's the
10%? The Southern Baptist Conference, each church has to send like 30% of the tithes that are paid to those conferences, and then those conferences have the people that go to Washington, lobbyists, that those conferences pay for lobbyists to go lobby for different things, with law and with the government. And I don't want my tithes going to a lobbyist. So, with my clients, if they need, $70 to pay their electric bill and they have kids, I'll give them $70 and pay their, or I'll get the number and I'll call and pay their electric bill, or I'll go buy, some groceries and drop groceries off at their house, and it may be, may not be right, but
I think it's absolutely right. I mean,
it's better that if I take a percentage,
where that money's going
to the person.
Yeah.
I just hope God knows my heart's in the right place. I'm not trying to cheat Him. I just do not trust the church organization.
I mean, in my opinion, I think God knows. I mean, and it's not even just any charity. It's like it.
Well, it's
They
like the Red Cross.
all.
I don't donate to the American Red Cross
Yeah,
because,
it's
you know,
BS. All those, remember in the
hardly any of that
'90s, the
goes to
Africa
people.
stuff, the Africa stuff. You think that money went to them? Of
No.
course not. Oh, I mean, a percentage had to have. I mean, but a very small percentage. You know,
And in
it's
20
just
years, I've never taken one client to the American Red Cross that was truly in need. Truly in need.
yeah,
In my area, they never helped one person that I took.
yeah.
Not one.
And the people who are truly in need, usually they are in such bad shape in so many different ways that they are not even capable of asking for help.
The one organization, if you want to donate to an organization, and I have been to the hospital, I've seen it, I've witnessed it, it is absolutely amazing, is St. Jude Children's Hospital.
Yes. I knew you were going to say it before you said it.
Yes.
That's so true, yeah.
They take $1 out of every 10 that's donated and put it into administrative fees. The rest of that money goes toward the research and goes toward the kids. And I don't know if they've expanded. I haven't, really kept up with it in the past several years. But when I went in the late 80s to the hospital, and I did a big fundraiser in West Virginia for the hospital, they only had 8 beds. St. Jude's is the one that came up with the cure for pneumonia that typically kills cancer patients. And they shared that with the world. So fewer people with cancer on chemo, died of the pneumonia. That cure was found at St. Jude's. And they at the time, they only had 8 beds, and they got those kids in remission in and out. You have to pay your first trip there. If you have a child with cancer,
I'd be dead right
once
now.
they diagnose, everything is free. The parents' food is free.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Free.
Yep,
The
everything.
Treatment is free.
Yep, they don't have to have any worries as far as
right. And all of their money goes toward that hospital and toward that research.
Yeah.
So
that is a great charity.
Yes,
is.
It is.
I've heard so much about it, and it just makes sense.
Yep.
Where the money goes, why, and how the family don't have to worry about anything. Just the child getting better, and I have a personal kind of thing with this too, so that's why it is a great charity. I had a family member, and it's just it's a great charity.
It sure is. But I'll wait till in the middle of Marf's show. I will post if anybody wants to watch. I'll go get the chapters in Exodus and Matthew, and I'll post those at least those 2 chapters in the Bible that talks about the 3 days and 3 nights of darkness, and recommend that everybody do your own research. You can even Google all that stuff, and you've got to be careful and, read the verses in the Bible and make sure what you're getting, is actually...
You do have to be careful because...
I read something the other day. I Googled it for my sister to tell her to look up something, and it said if you look outside during the 3 days and 3 nights of darkness that you'll die. And I don't know if somebody's trying to relate that back to... The 3 days and nights of darkness is related to Sodom and Gomorrah, and Lot's wife was told not to look back, and she looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. So I don't know if they're thinking, since it's been related back to what happened during Sodom and Gomorrah, if it's going to be exactly, but I can't find anything. And I just, for my sister, just recently really started trying to research it to give her more answers, but I have not yet found where it says if you look outside, you'll die. But, I think those are good starting points for you to learn, just to know what direction to go to research.
Yes. And people, they have to realize too that the translations sometimes you have to know, like the way the language was spoken then was different, and it's like
Yes.
like for instance Elohim, um, like that's actually referring to like gods, angels, and magistrates, correct?
What was the word? I didn't hear. I couldn't hear.
Elohim.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, a lot of people will say like, you know, like praise Elohim as if they're talking about God, and that's really, you know, gods, angels, magistrates. You know, that would be
Okay.
the fallen angels. That would be the angels. That would be, you know, things like that. They're gods, but like lowercase g gods. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah,
I know what you're saying.
yeah, and like when they actually refer to like the Lord Creator, like there's a certain way that they do to do that as well. And
Harry Stone did a New Testament reference Bible. I think it's $95, and he does the translations for the Greek and the Hebrew to help you understand the verbiage in the Bible. Just like he's the one that said the original words for nation against nation was race against race. That's what it meant.
that was unbelievable to me.
That's where I learned that, but I don't get to watch him.
Yeah, because that makes so much more sense.
It does.
Wow.
It does. It really does. But there's a lot of good reference books that you can go back, and forth and find the original prophecies in the Old Testament, the way it was explained, and more is added to it in the New Testament. But it's Exodus and Matthew. I'm pretty sure. I know it's Matthew, and I think it's Exodus, where it originally talks about the 3 days and 3 nights and of darkness. So I'll post those.
Do you have any knowledge on because this always fascinated me, was I'm like, I can't even think right now. Well, for one, of course, Revelations, I'm sure you know very well, but why can't I think of it? I'm always like looking it up and stuff because the lost book, they didn't put it in. And it's very popular, and it talks about giants and
Yes, I know. Yes, I know what you're talking about. And that disturbs me because you're not supposed to add or take away from the Bible. And why?
C.J. Blaze actually said it before. I think because there's a delay. She was saying it. I think before I was saying it. Yeah, Enoch.
Enoch, yes, the Book of Enoch.
Yes. So what do you think about that? I mean, like, do you have any thoughts on that, or do you not know much about? A lot of people just don't know much about it because it's not in the Bible, and that why read this book? It's not in the Bible. It must not be in there for a reason. That's how a lot of people feel. But
I think they took it out because they don't want us.
But men decided, that's. But then again, isn't there something about like you couldn't something you can't take away God's word or something like that? You can't.
Well, it says you're not supposed to add or take away.
Yeah,
and then you have the other side that argues, well, the King James Version was translated by King James. Did he tell his scholars in translation to, is it true? Is it a true translation? Unless we knew Hebrew and we actually knew how to read the original scribes, how would we know?
It is amazing. Yep, it's true. And but guess what? And there's references to Enoch in other books, and then the Dead Sea Scrolls, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's some legitimacy there.
Absolutely, I think there is.
Yeah, and I mean, there's like all these old newspaper clippings, and back in the day, it does make sense that there's a lot of fakes, because like the big thing was, like freaks, for some reason, like come see the freak. You know what I mean? Like, you ever see that in movies? Well, yeah, they really had these things that travel around, and just people who were different,
Well,
and
the original source of censorship was our Bible. The censorship on YouTube's nothing new. Just for the example you brought up, the Book of Enoch.
Yeah.
They and the Dead Sea Scrolls. They haven't said, okay, we need to add these to the Bible. We found these; they need to be added. There's also some research that said that in one of the scrolls that they found, once they added the additional pieces to the scrolls, that 666 is actually supposed to be 999.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, our original censorship was the Bible. So if they're going to censor the Bible, they're going to censor everything else.
I've heard a lot about like, everything that the devil does. It's backwards and upside down.
Yes.
Yeah. So
and there's a lot of inaccuracies on the History Channel. The
that would make sense.
Religious programming. And I didn't know. I was never a big History Channel watcher.
Yeah, anything on TV.
My mother would come to me and she'd say, "Oh my gosh, I taught you wrong when you were little. This is what this really means." And I would have read it in the Bible by that point. And I'd say, "Mom, where in the world did you hear that?" And she said, "Oh, it was on the show on the History Channel." And after she gave to me about the third or fourth time, she stayed with me the last 4 years of her life. She was having strokes. I finally said, "You're not allowed to watch the History Channel anymore."
Yeah.
Because that is inaccurate. That is not what the Bible says. And I'd have to get my Bible out and read it to her. So I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. Because with her stroke, she started forgetting things. And I'd say, we're going to have Bible study. So you don't have to worry about listening to it on the History Channel. We're going to have Bible study with the Bible,
That's good, yeah.
So,
and then that's very important, too, especially, you said she was sick.
That just goes back to the YouTube stuff, Make notes on any of those, messages that you listen to, and then research it.
Yeah.
And you're going to
try to have an open mind.
They take a true point.
Take things,
and then they try to prophesy from a true point. But if you just listen to how they say things, it bothers me. The verbiage, the language that they're using. I can't imagine that if God is giving them a message to pass on,
that they would be yeah. Is that a lot of it's common sense? People can be tricked very easily.
And that's part of prophecy. False prophets in the end times. So, it's just additional prophecy. So, well, sweetheart, I will let you go.
That was great.
About the 3 days of.
That was
everything
great.
Else in the world. So.
that was amazing. That was awesome. I learned a lot. I didn't know about the 10%. I didn't know that.
But I will post those 2 verses.
I would appreciate that. I never knew that. Thank you. Because I always heard about the half
chapters.
Half a show, the Jewish one. When they go in there, they have to have because I know they made a coin, and it's Cyrus and Trump, because they consider him anointed by God, because he with Jerusalem, and I mean now is, like I said, the Golden Heights and all that. So, I mean, you have to half a shekel, I think it is.
Yes.
So yeah. But I never knew that about the
All right, sweetheart. Well, thanks everybody.
Thank you so much. Oh, no, you were not.
Good to have you back.
I love your phone calls. Please, that was great. Thank you so much, and I think everybody agrees with me. So, thank you so much,
Good.
and God bless
everybody.
you. God bless
God bless you all.
All right,
And
thank you so much.
I'll be saying extra prayers for you. I hope things get better.
Yeah, please do. Just please do.
When you say your prayers,
do.
just plead the blood of Jesus over a hedge of protection around you and everybody that shares your DNA and around your vehicle and your home. And not that the vehicle's important, but the contents of the vehicle, you, your child, your home is not important, but those you love live in that home.
Yes.
That hedge of protection around
protection.
you.
That's
add that to your prayers, and I do that, several times through the day.
Yes.
So,
I've actually, that's actually something that I've been hip to for a while too. Just about always mention, it's all about the blood of Jesus. That's what it all comes down to, the blood of Jesus. And in Catholic, they don't teach you that stuff in Catholic school. They don't. It's just they teach you the story and all, but the symbolism of the blood of Jesus and what it really is, it's
well, it's
they
not
don't
just a
teach
Catholic church. I mean, it was for a long time, but it's all the churches now. The preachers aren't wanting to piss off the big money givers, and if they preach on the Ten Commandments, they might step on somebody's toes, or if they talk about pleading the blood of Jesus, that may be not quite Baptist or Methodist. That's a little more toward the Church of God, and oh no, we can't do that. We have to stay within what our conference wants us to preach and to teach, and they have preacher lesson plans and Sunday school teacher lesson plans. What happened to pick up the Bible and pick a verse and let's talk about it.
Yes. Yes.
And
keep an open mind.
It's all sex now, and
keep an open mind, and I'll even and I never knew how similar other religions were to Christianity. I had no idea. I mean, do you know that ISIS? Do you know who they thought was going to come in and save them?
No.
Jesus. No lie. Now,
I thought for some reason it was Muhammad.
No, Muhammad is their prophet. I mean, their Messiah. Or I don't know enough to say for sure what exactly. I'm believing their Messiah is Muhammad, but they still think highly of Jesus, and Jesus would ride into battle with his army and help them. That's really what they believe. It blew me away. I read this. I read a whole book on ISIS, and it blew me away. I had no idea.
Jesus doesn't want them beheading people.
Yeah, and they're beheading Christians, and I don't know. It blew me away. But no, Jesus isn't. I'm not saying that Jesus is their Messiah. They look at Jesus as the Messiah. No, but he does hold some historical relevance with them, and I guess in the Quran he would if the caliphate when they're down to their last few, he would be the one that rides in, which blew my mind. And anyone who doesn't believe me, look it up. I'm telling you.
Oh, I believe you.
Yeah, no, but look it up though. It's legit. It's crazy. It blew my mind. So it just shows that there's not as much difference in the religions than we think, or a lot of us think.
No, there's not.
I mean, maybe the Eastern religions are a little bit different. Buddhism and all that.
Yeah, Buddha.
Yeah, that might be a lot different. But all the religions that were born, the desert religions, all of them that were born in the same place.
There's a lot of crossover in their stories.
Yes, absolutely. And
sure is.
I just found that fascinating. And I also found your phone call fascinating.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I read it. I had to reread it and then I had to read it the next day. I was like, this is right. Wait. And I looked up on the internet. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Okay, honey, well, I'll let you go in case anybody else wants to call. But I love
Alrighty.
everybody, and I'll see y'all over on the other channel later.
Yep. And it was so nice to hear from you.
Okay, it's like to be talking to you.
All
God
right.
bless you. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
You too.
I love her calls. I'm telling you, she is so intelligent. I love her calls. I learn multiple things every time I hear her talk. And yeah, if anyone doesn't believe what I said, look it up. It's true. It blew my mind too. Is he on? Is Marfoogle on right now? Someone said it's Foogle time. So I'm looking myself right here. Well, if he is on, I just want to thank everybody who stopped by. For my first night back. I just wanted to kind of chill tonight. Just, there's people I haven't talked to in so long. And, I'm just happy that you guys came by. Oh, he's not on. He's on there. I'm sitting on him. Why are people saying it's Foogle time? I don't get it. Is that like wishful thinking? Oh, thank you. I was reading. You guys are crazy. And I miss so many comments, like, when this call is. So, like, after the show, sometimes I like to go back and, like, read all this crazy shit you guys say. Excuse my language. I'm trying to get better about the language. All right, so we've covered a lot. All right, yeah. So I mean, I'm still up, and Fonston leaves. Okay, so if anybody wants to call in, feel free. If not, I'm gonna bore you to death with a crazy story or something. Or if anyone has like a question or I was just happy that we got to because I actually when I called in Marfoogle last night, I meant to mention at the end that because I was talking about China and the way they're positioning themselves and the way that we're positioning ourselves, and I meant to say at the end like, but you know what? I think it's really like all like comes down to like biblical prophecy and end days. That's really what it's gonna come down to, and it's between good, evil, and there's a lot more evil than good as far as here on earth. And I just truly believe that, and I think it's soon. When I don't know, 10 years, 2 years, I don't know. You know, I hope it's not for a long time. But then again, you're not supposed to think you're supposed to want it. It's just, if I'm being honest, I have a 2-year-old daughter, and it's like, I mean, it is a messed up world, and that's kind of sad. I don't even know what it's going to be like when she's, in her teens or growing up, especially with her mother the way she is and all that. But it's like, I don't know. You're supposed to, you know, like just be watchmen and pray for that day. But it's tough when you have a child, because I don't know. I don't know. I feel guilty about it, but I don't. I struggle with that. Is he on? Oh, what's my dog's name? Is this delayed? No, that's all right. All right. My one med is red for. I just want to be positive. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. There is an official damage to infrastructure incident currently underway in the Seattle area. Helen, are you basically saying like the infrastructure needs to be rebuilt? Or are you trying to say like an event happened and you know uh, a bridge? I don't know. Yeah, anybody that wants to call in, call in. You don't feel like you have to talk forever. You know, it's just I let people talk because it's a small channel. Marf can't do that. He has to keep it to a rule. But I'm sure at the beginning, he could. It's a little bit different. You can get a little more, get to know them a little bit better, and kind of like let them get their whole thought out. Um, but I feel bad for Moff in that way because he's always having to like tell them how many minutes they have left, and I feel bad when he has to do that. But people should make it easier on him. Just when your time's up, your time's up. Just get off. But on here we don't. We don't have that problem. There's only so many of us tonight. But I'm grateful for each and every one of you. And actually, there's actually more than I thought. And we've been on for 3 hours, so that's pretty good. But yeah, anybody who wants to call, you don't have to be on as long as some of the other people were. You just call. It doesn't have to be about religion. In fact, usually it's not religion on this show. Usually we're talking about conspiracy theories and things like that. Click link. Are you telling me to, CJ? Alright, I'm clicking it now. Alright, so we got event summary. Interesting website, by the way. Critical infrastructure disruption in USA on April 6th. So it actually, okay, so it is an event. It is an actual event. 5:18 UTC. Now, I guess that's like similar to Zulu time, kind of like the international time. So, common alerting protocol information, category infra. Okay, I know a little bit about some of this stuff, so I might be able to help. Alright, so let me see other non-transport. So, wow, it might be ongoing. Wait, I'm still stuck on the first line. It says, I'm hoping everybody has this up. This is extremely interesting. I think it was Helen, right? Great find. Because the one I'm stuck on is because I'm stuck on it. And when I say stuck, I mean like it makes me think, whoa. So the first one, category, infra, and so they go on to say utility, telecommunication, other non-transport infrastructure. I mean that covers a lot of stuff. I mean, think about that. Common alert. Oh, is this common alerting protocol? Am I reading this wrong? Is this just telling us like the different levels? No, this is actually severity. It's severe. Significant threat to life or property. Scope. Public. For general dissemination to unrestricted audiences. Urgency. Past. It already happened. Responsive action is no longer required. So I was starting to think war, but I don't think that's it. But then again, they're just talking about this particular. So let's say it was something like that. I don't think it's that. I think it's a natural disaster. I think it's like an earthquake or something. Like maybe it's what he's been talking about. Or it could be a strike. It could be just a bridge collapsed. Just because, it's old and needed to be fixed. Or a very convenient FF for some other reason. And if that's the case, I would be paying very close attention to what doesn't make the news. All right, I need to know what's going on. Great find. So EIS number. So determine to have a crab, you're going. So I didn't even read them all loud for everybody, so I'm going to read it out loud for anyone who didn't click the link, okay? So, great website, by the way. I didn't even know about this website, but apparently anytime there is, it looks like something, an alert map they have, and in Seattle, critical infrastructure disruption in USA on April 6, 29. That's that's what was damaged. Non-transport. So it's not a bridge. Okay, and then it says certainty. I mean, that's self-explanatory, I think, like, is this a rumor? Or if it is certain, why? How do you know? And it says observed, determined to have occurred or to be ongoing. Scope, public, for general dissemination to unrestricted audiences. Severity, severe, significant threat to life or property. Now that's the big one. Urgency, past, responsive action is no longer required. Okay, so guys, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop this video. Start a new stream. If you want to stick with me, just I'm gonna start a new stream right now. Just click on it. I'm going to hello? Yes. Are you in Washington? Yeah. Okay. Do you know what's going on?
So I just read an article the Seattle Times put out, and it said like 24.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. I gotta put you on speaker. All right, go ahead.
So yeah, I read an article the Seattle Times put out, like, I don't know how, not very long ago, and it said 24 power poles came down all in a row. All right, so I used to build power lines a while ago. I was a groundman for a little bit, and I can tell you, dude, the fucking power, they don't, like, some guy from, I don't know if it's PG&E or Seattle City Light said that they splintered. It broke the shit out of them. Like,
wow.
So, like, and I was looking at a picture of them.
And that just doesn't happen normally.
Yeah, so they had, like, sub-transmission with distribution underbuild on them. So those are probably Class H poles, which are the highest. So they're probably, like, H5, H6 poles. And those are the heaviest class of pole they make. So to give you, like, an idea on them, they're, like...
All right, you know what? Hold on 1 second. All right, guys, I'm going to start a new video, okay? So we can get this information out there to everybody. All right, because nobody knows that this is going on. Great find, Helen. So I'm going to start a new stream. I'm going to leave you on the phone, okay? It takes 2 seconds. I'm going to name the video. Now, are you 100% positive this is what it was? Telephone poles?
Yeah, it was the power poles, yeah.
I'm going to put, like, breaking news. And there was deaths. That's what it said.
This one said that just some people got trapped in their car, but they got them out.
Really? On the website, it said loss of life, and so okay. I'm not gonna put anything. I was gonna put fatal, but that's good. So no one died. Maybe, but we're just gonna put that. All right. I'm gonna do it really quick.